We're live at WRBL.com, and of course we're live right here on News 3, and we're going to continue this coverage. And now we have a tornado warning. This started as hail, and you can see how it's starting to enhance this one thunderstorm that's been rotating. It started over in Ladonia. You had the hail, and now it's starting to increase. And this is what we've been talking about all morning, and we were going to continue this coverage. If you are right now in the Green Island Hills area, and we want to get a little closer. We'll get, let's go ahead and get some velocity. Let's go right to the center of the storm, and let's track at street level immediately. Let's just pull it down right here, right on River Road, Double Churches. There's a possible tornado Doppler indicated right now. So if you're south of Double Churches, right around Green Island Hills, there's a possible tornado right here on the ground. We're not seeing that, and we don't have evidence of it yet, but this is Doppler indicated, and there's some good enhancement. There's hail with this, dime-sized hail. And we're going to continue to roll this track. So let's take it at how many miles per hour? I think we're about 45, Jeff and Cody. So we're going to take this 45 on the street level, and we're going to lift it north and east, and we'll take it out to Williams Road. So we'll get into North Columbus. So if you're anybody in the North Columbus area right now, you should seek shelter, get in your most safest spot. Whitesville Road right now, pretty windy, a lot of trees through here. Even if it's not a tornado on the ground, this will certainly have a lot of wind with it and some small hail. And this is going to continue to track north and east here to Williams Road. So this is all the way through about 128, all the way into North Columbus, okay? This will take you out to the Moon Road area. This will take you right up on Veterans Parkway and Moon Road. So these are the areas we're going to be watching before it starts to get right into the Harris County line. So right now we're going to be talking about Muskogee County, Harris County, and Talbot counties that will be in this exact track. And this is street level, and we're looking at some rotation here. Now, Doppler indicated became a thunderstorm with enhancement with some hail, and now there's some minimal rotation. Not terribly impressive what we would see, but we're beginning to see the makings of these discrete cells independent from the actual squall line we're talking about all morning. So as this tracks right along the interchange here around the J.R. Allen Parkway, Highway 80, very busy. This is exactly where this will be tracking to the north. There's a center, what we say hail core. Usually this would be heavy rain. This case, this is a hail core right here. We can add a 3D volumetric in just a bit, but we want to watch right now what meteorologist Cody Nichols doing. He's looking at inflow and outflow and if there's a gate-to-gate rotation on this. And we're not seeing your textbook one, but we do have rotation, and it is Doppler indicated. So we continue on this track north and east of 80 on J.R. Allen Parkway, and that will continue to be in the North Columbus area, and eventually we're going to watch this in the southern Harris County. This would be areas south of Catala, too. We're watching what's called velocity. We're watching the air movement towards the Peachtree City radar right now, unless we're at Maxwell. Yeah, this is Maxwell, actually. So we're at Maxwell radar. We have broad rotation, not textbook, not classic, like tornado funnel on the ground, but there's some potentially damaging wind here, okay? So if you're anywhere in the North Columbus, this is Moon Road, all the way through this area here, and again, we're watching. Let me see if my mic just, I don't know, there we go. I think we might be having some audio issues here at the mic. Thanks, Jeff. I think, here, we'll go, I'm going to go to mic 1. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we'll go to mic 1. We might have
all right, y'all can come to me.
Go to meteorologist Cody Nichols for a second here. We're having some mic issues here.
All right, we're tracking this rotation. This right over portions of J.R. Allen in North Columbus, up near Green Island Hills, the Lynn Hills community, Nankipu, just near the intersection of I-185 and Highway 80 right now. That's where we have that rotation. In North Columbus, it's moving off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So if you're in Flat Rock, portions of Midland, Waverly Hall in southern Harris County, Ellerslie, Catala, you all need to be in your safe spot with as this continues to push through. Now, it still looks a little broad at the moment with this velocity here coming up into areas of North Columbus. So Flat Rock Park, Midland, you all need to be in your safe areas. And we'll go back to the radar, and you can see that we do have some potential hail. We've had dime-sized hail reported in Ladonia as this storm was pushing through parts of Russell County and then eventually moved into parts of Smith Station and Phoenix City. It is currently in Muskogee County in North Columbus near the intersection of I-185 and Highway 80, or also known as J.R. Allen Parkway in North Columbus. This is coming up on areas of Highway 27 across parts of that would be Fortson with that hail core, and then moving over into parts of southern Harris County. But at the moment, it looks like our rotation has diminished a little bit as we got into this latest scan here. So parts of Fortson, Barron, Ellerslie, Osahatchee, and you see the latest times on your screen there. Ellerslie is 1:45 Eastern time for Ellerslie, Osahatchee. That's near the Luke's Pub area of Harris County, around 1:48 around that time in southern Harris County.
If you can, and I'm thinking this is just something off here, and I'm sorry I got to do this. Who's ever talking to my ear, you're not hitting the right thing. It keeps going silent, so that means you're not in my proper IFB. I'm not in the weather IFB, so folks can kind of get that straightened out. Every time somebody's touching, it sounds like dead air, so I just keep hearing myself disappear. So we're looking at this right now. We're looking at Barron, Rehoboth, Ellerslie, and Osahatchee, as Cody just told you. These are crossing 3 counties now. We're talking about northeast parts of Columbus, Georgia, and this is north of the J.R. Allen Parkway. If you're in the Midland area, you're okay, and if you continue to see a little bit track towards the north and east, you continue to see this all the way through the Ellerslie area. So if you're in Ellerslie, and yes, I got good communication now, we're going to be tracking that. So if you're in the Ellerslie area, definitely. Yeah, people, we have witnesses now. We had Marquise Battle, one of our reporters, saying North Columbus. I think that's why he was calling me. We have confirmation on the ground, tornado. We have a visual, hail on the ground. My bad. Okay, hail. Okay, hail, not a tornado. This is hail. We've had confirmation, and that's our law enforcement. Do not have eyes on a tornado, but they do have certainly reports of heavy rain, torrential rain, with some hail that's on the ground. This hail on the ground was reported in Ladonia, by the way, by Michelle Dickerson. I was talking to her about 30 minutes ago, and that's posted at WRBL.com. And that was the making of this particular storm cell, and we've been tracking that all along. Whitesville Road area, heavy rain and wind, Cody, we're looking at. I'm going to get back over here on camera on the BAM, and we'll just see what's going on here. Wind isn't bad with this, Cody, but we are seeing some rotation now. A little broad, Cody, you can see in North Columbus, but not quite your typical gate-to-gate, but Cody is highlighting what we're seeing in circulation, where the air is moving towards radar and rapidly away from it. So certainly we are seeing that coming right along areas around the north part of the J.R. Allen Parkway, and we have visual reports of hail on the ground. Dime size when it was in Ladonia, now it continues to track north and east. And why is this so important is because as we track this through Ellerslie coming up at 41 minutes after the hour, and right now we're looking at 32 minutes after the hour, less than 10 minutes, 9 minutes, there's going to be hail in this area, is that we're seeing the instability that just rapidly increased with the wind shear. So you don't have to necessarily have all the sun and everything we're talking about. It's how potent the system is what we've been talking about. Okay, so Flat Rock area, 33 minutes, it's 33 right now. So right now, the Flat Rock area is getting some dime-sized hail likely, and you're seeing not a lot of wind from eyewitnesses out there, but the J.R. Allen Parkway, there's one thing for certain, very heavy torrential rain. That makes it very difficult for travel. Street level tracking takes you all the way up to Ballville into Talbot County. Talbot County, this continues this track, and we'll be following it as it does that. But we take it right now conditions where the latest scan doesn't seem to be too impressive. But again, with this, we can see the Flat Rock area around Gateway. This area here is seeing the only significant storm right now that we've been tracking in the area. And this is a tornado warning because it's Doppler indicated. We have rotation, as you can see right here, the inflow and then the backside, the outflow away from radar. Schaumburg Road area, likely seeing possible dime-sized hail. Maple Ridge area here. All of the North Columbus area, we are now east of Interstate 185. We're talking about North Columbus, but it isn't going to continue in the Eupatoria, the Panhandle area of Muskogee County, but Moon Road and J.R. Allen Parkway, very little wind is what we're getting out of this. So this is a very upper-level disturbance storm, and that's good. And the other sign is it's just creating a lot of instability at the forecast times. We're saying about 2 o'clock is when we felt that everything is going to start to kick up. So about a half hour before the projected instability, and that just tells us we're on schedule for an active afternoon. So nothing confirmed on the ground. We have officials out there, so so that's good news, but we take it seriously nonetheless. If you're on Warm Springs Road going into the Midland area, you should seek shelter regardless. Take this seriously, because at any given time, when you have rotation in these thunderstorms, this particular case, they can always drop a tornado at any given time. Hence, it's still a tornado warning because we see rotation. It's Doppler indicated from what eyewitnesses are confirming and what we see here on radar. Lightning certainly starting to increase. A hail core still exists now going into the extreme south portion of the Harris County line here. So we're talking about just outside of Midland, coming out of Midland, obviously Muskogee, but we're going Midland, Harris County, look for some hail. There's a hail core right there. Cody, it's already passed in the Harris County side now. Cody's highlighting that for us. The Rehoboth area. Ellerslie, you're on track, and you should be seeking shelter right now. If you're in Ellerslie, Georgia, not quite in the Waverly Hall area. This is Ellerslie. You should seek shelter. Don't panic. Just get in off the second-story floor if there's second-story homes out there. You should be in the lower, most interior section of your home right now. Enough walls between you and the outside. If you're in Osahatchee area, you know what I'm talking about right there off of 85, Manchester Expressway. Please just kind of sit back. So we just want to remind you that, again, these active warnings that are here continues up into Harris County, and we're talking about into Talbot County. So Muskogee, we're getting out of the Muskogee area. Even though you're still under a tornado warning from the Polygon, the physical storm we're focused on is in Harris now. So really, Muskogee, you're good. So if you're Muskogee, just don't worry about it. But right now, the counties is Harris and Talbot is what we're tracking. We're in Harris right now in the latest scan, extreme northern part of Muskogee County, but really in that extreme part of southern and southwest corner here of Harris County as it tracks just towards the Ellerslie area. If you're in the Midland Muskogee, I would still kind of seek shelter here because there's still a possibility of how broad this wind could be, but it's extending more into the Harris County line, which will be going into the Midland County line area of areas around Harris County. That would continue on this projected track, which we use here, which is a squall line track, but it's so wide and broad, we'll use this particular track to take you into Ellerslie to Midland Muskogee, Midland Harris, Ellerslie, Osahatchee areas, and that will continue into the Talbot County line. But we're not going to go there. If you're in Talbot County, just start preparing, start thinking of your safe spot. Okay? If we're still looking at on the county line area, and I keep saying this, the county line area where County Line Road is, just north of this, once we get into Harris County, still needs to be the area you should be in your safe spot right now. Lowest interior, lowest part of the floor, enough walls between you and outside. Cody, again, very broad rotation, but we certainly are starting to see some a little bit better scans here, and there's no doubt there could be some wind that could at any given time drop out of this.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like it's elevated at the moment. National Weather Service says it's kind of weakened a little bit according to their instruments that they are seeing. So, but we still continue to see some of that rotation right near the Flat Rock area, coming up into areas of Midland. Now, you can still get some pretty good gust out of this, like Bob said, possibly 40, 50 miles per hour as we get up into parts of Midland, Ellerslie with this storm. But the current wind out across Columbus is 10 miles per hour. That's coming directly from the south. That's really something we don't want to see today when the winds are really from south to southeast. You get that good inflow to produce these tornadoes across the region. And we're also noticing the lightning uptick a little bit across the region, and we also have more storms moving into the region really on the southern end near Dothan that have a little more tornadic threat that could produce a potential threat for our southern counties around Clay County and Fort Gaines.
Okay, great. So again, so here we are, we're getting more reports of some of that hail, and if you can, we'll repeat what we're just saying too over in production control, but just north of Midland, we're in Harris County seeing the potential of pea-sized hail continuing. It seems like this is in a dying phase. We do watch for this kind of reflectivity, and we saw it really enhanced in a lot of pink on the radar. That's where we were looking at the hail core. The hail core is kind of getting elongated, getting kind of lifted up inside this thunderstorm, and it looks like it's starting to weaken, but we're not getting off of it just yet because we still have rotation. We'll stay on it because at any given time, this could actually do this. Now, why did the National Weather Service pull the trigger on something like this? because we have rotation in the storm, because we see the vertical lift on this, the quick, rapid increase in intensity for the hail production in the core. So these are things that happen very systematically. This is SOP, or Standard Operating Procedure, for the NWS. And for WRBL, we've been watching this all the way when it was in Ladonia. And then we said, let's get on here because this thing is starting to look like it's got just good rotation. And the other thing is where we are now, we're right on the border. We're right on the county line area right now where a potential tornado could develop because there's no reports confirmed. Reports that we've had was pea-sized hail. Dime-sized in some cases, somebody been calling in just a little bit larger than that. And we're seeing the rotation now just to the south. It's still right around the Highway 80 area, kind of going into the Panhandle. It looks like it was lifting more north and east, Cody, but it appears it's more in an easterly track, eclipsing southern Harris County. So if you're in Ellerslie, nothing yet your way, but it's just to the south of you. So if we take this track in a different fashion, we'll pick it up right about here, and we'll kind of cut it across subtly, maybe just right about there. I think that might be almost into the Geneva area now. So we got to watch how this behaves. So this is where we're at now. If you're in Midland, Muskogee, would be the potential, the center part of this, okay? Potential tornado could develop out of this. It's Doppler indicated. It's still a warning because that's how you have to treat these, because at any time they can actually produce a tornado. The hail core has weakened. I think this is starting to weaken. It does have broad circulation and rotation with it. At this given track, from Midland going into now the Panhandle of Muskogee County, we refer to it as, out of Upatoy, 80 into Geneva, that could continue all the way into this area before we get into Talbot County here. So Talbot County line would be coming out of the areas of Muskogee County and southern Harris County. So extreme southeast Harris County, County Line Road, south of Central Church. These areas here we're watching right now. So if you know where that demarcation is, you're okay, but don't get complacent because at any time this could wobble and take more of a northeast turn. You see there's a given polygon it's automatically given with this whole area. The circulation could spin up another area of circulation to the north of that. That's why it's a very broad center. But here the First Alert Weather Team is focused on the core of the storm where it actually is at. I see the storm kind of getting a little bit of an anvil, we call it. The anvil is flanking out a little bit over in the north part of areas of Harris County now, and right around 3:15 you could still have hail, and you could see it anywhere up to pea to dime-sized hail is what we've been talking about. Even, of course, we had a couple eyewitnesses from Ladonia in Alabama where this started. The storm started in Ladonia, and we've been tracking it ever since. And here we are at 1:41 p.m. in the last half hour we've been seeing this. Reflectivity, Central Church Road. Cody brought me back up here because this is the area you should still seek shelter just to be safe, because at any given time, if this pulls out some damaging wind, anything can happen. Second story, you should not be on. You should be at the lowest level and most central part of the interior of your home. This is actually a little bit of hail that's still left in here, so I wouldn't be surprised you're still going to get that from the latest scan. This is just west of Central Church Road. This is right outside of areas around areas coming into Harris County, right north of County Line Road. To the south of County Line Road is also the southern edge of this, which is Warm Springs to Midland, Muskogee, and is coming right up in the southern part of these areas around Central Church. You got Flat Rock, you got County Line Road and Highway 80 to the south, which could take you all the way to the Firefighter Training Center on McKee Road, if you know where that is, you guys, and where the, of course, where we're looking at the local church that's right across the street from that. So we continue on this track as it kind of just hugs the county line area. As it does separate and elongate here, each one of these scans are looking more in our favor of seeing this weaken, but we're going to hang on to this just for a second until there's no rotation until we get off of this, because we've seen this happen. They can cycle, and we mean that it could be at a weak phase and it can regenerate. But at this given time, we're beginning to see still rotation in it. It's kind of an odd shape and very elongated, but we're getting no reports of this hitting the surface, the winds at this time. So it is Doppler indicated from our analysis right now, from eyewitnesses, and based on the reflectivity and the velocity scan. So it's going to continue on this track. Cody, again, interesting, last week had a very similar kind of feel to it. I mean, a lot of like everything's aloft, but nothing's like happening down here, you know?
Most definitely, and that could be because of the wind factor. We don't really have a good inflow yet with these storms, especially with this one being well towards the north with all that other convection or thunderstorms across the region. So had just a tight spin-up rotation across parts of North Columbus, which prompted the tornado warning, and now it's kind of broadened out a little bit as it's moved across parts of North Muskogee County, North Columbus, up into areas of Midland. And National Weather Service has said they're going to let this warning go. The tornado threat seems to have it's declining right now, but our threat is not over. We have a whole afternoon, a whole evening left because we have just a good instability, good shear with this afternoon's thunderstorm system complex that will move through, and we're going to get more of these because we're already seeing active tornado warnings across parts of Dothan. That could be a potential threat for our storms coming up into parts of Fort Gaines, around Clay County, Randolph County. So we're not out of the woods just yet. We have a whole line of showers pushing into West Alabama. So this is just the precursor to what we can see this afternoon. But right now we do have a tornado warning. It's set to expire at 2:15. So we have about 30 minutes left on this warning. But National Weather Service says they do not see any signs of any rotation at the moment, according to them. So that is good news if you're in the Midland area. Parts of southeast Harris County around Ellerslie, the County Line Road area, Central Church. So good news as you get into parts of Talbot County, the threat is diminishing.
Yeah, that's good. And if we back up just a little bit, meteorologist Jeff Kelly, too, we're looking at radar behind. Let's just pull back behind and see if there's anything else going on, Cody. I'd like to see if we're looking at what else we see. We got a couple other tornado warnings farther south. Those, again, indicate exactly what some of the models were showing this morning. All that activity down near Monroeville in Alabama. This is, again, all west of Interstate 65. We need to watch this. As Cody just pointed out, we're getting these discrete activity, these cells that are erupting ahead, which can certainly continue. But when you watch around Selma, even though we don't have severe thunderstorm warnings, but damaging winds likely down near areas around Jackson, Alabama. This is not Jackson, Mississippi. All the way through Selma, central Alabama, right along Highway 80 here. Once you come out of Demopolis off of that I-20 corridor, everything is moving eastward. So any of the stuff eastward that hasn't been seeing any severe thunderstorm activity, has been farther south, could easily start to change over farther north. Hence, that's why the watch of Tornado Watch continues across the whole News 3 viewing area. And where we see that latest tornado warning we're talking about, it looks like some of that reflectivity certainly bringing down some stuff down here in Stewart County, too. So Stewart County, I want to leave you out of this as we walk you through this. There could be some heavy rain. And Dothan, we're watching this one, too. Dothan's got the couple tornado warnings in here just to the back around Geneva, Alabama, not Geneva, Georgia. And that's south of that. Once you get down in Florida, that's the Florida-Alabama line. And that's the stuff that we got to watch for our extreme southern counties. What would that be? That would be for you in Quitman. If you're in Quitman County watching us in Fort Gaines right now, really you should be alert. You should really be alert. Now, we look at this cell. It's still south of Waverly Hall. Even though it looks like Waverly Hall's in this, we've got a lot of folks on Highway 28. This is to the south of you. Just to the south of you here, and we're going to continue to watch this. We got another cell. I mean, I think, Jeff, you were looking at that earlier, south of that, when Cody was giving us some analysis, north of Flat Rock. It looks like another hail core on the heels of this, which is interesting. So we need to watch that. Green Island Hills, again, seeing another heavy torrential rain in North Columbus, and they seem to be training on that same path. So now that you just had 1, 2, 3 punch, then here we go. We get another round of potential hail that could be too. Do we want to do a hail core analysis on this just to see what we have on that, Cody, just while we look? Okay, so we look at Midland, Muskogee, Midland, Harris County, and then now it looks like in North Columbus, coming north out of, you get out of Phoenix City and Ladonia. This one here that has just, it shows a hail core 9/10 of an inch. Now, a 1/10 of an inch hail, we start looking at dime sized, and it does decrease in size when it falls out of the sky. You know, I'm not going to get into 3D. I think it's too premature to do 3D volumetric right now to bore people. But I think from what we're seeing, at 1/2 an inch to almost a 1/10 of an inch here is enough to tell us that we've been seeing that. And you're getting back to back. So if you're North Columbus, don't be surprised within the next few minutes you get some more hail. That's not severe, but you're getting some hail producers on these. You're getting what's called good updraft, and that's the wind shear that Cody keeps talking about. In this case, the wind speed is changing as it keeps going on, goes slow and then it starts to increase. That's the kind of lift that we've been looking for. In fact, you don't have to have a lot of sunshine out there today, of those values that we look at for that too. Let's take a look at a camera too, if we see some views out there. And meteorologist Jeff Kelly, he's mic'd up there. See what we're looking at, some of these camera analysis here too, because if you're in Osahatchee and south of 315, right around 315, still kind of get in your safe spot until it's over, because there's still potential of a tornado or some wind kind of dipping out of here in the Olive Branch area. And once we get you some live video out here, we'll see what's going on, or just one of our live camera shots that we could see. Upatoy, again, it appears just to the north of you too, right along Highway 80. The Flat Rock area is out of it, but we do in North Columbus have another area north of Flat Rock going into Midland, Muskogee. Possibility of seeing some more light hail in that. And that hail is a little bit smaller than what we saw with the dime size, so we may see some more pea-sized hail. Chuck Williams was out and about earlier too, and Chuck said he saw it looked like gravel, pea-sized gravel, he described it. Because when you describe hail, hail is either pea-sized or it's measured by way of an actual physical monetary for money, like penny size, dime size, quarter size, and so on, baseball size. But that would be it. So there's never such thing as marble-sized hail, that description. So if you do give a description on some of our social media pages, describe it by way of what you would see a coin. That's more accurate, and we can use that data, and that helps us give it to the National Weather Service office. North of Abbeville and 431 South, they're getting a little bit more active here too. So it's very in line to what the high-resolution rapid refresh models we're looking at this morning, seeing a lot to the south. Farther north, though, we're already seeing that. And we still got the physical squall line back here with a tornado warning. This is south of Montgomery, which this is our new one. So we're not going to be off the air here. We're going to be watching Macon County, Alabama. So if you're in Macon County, Alabama, right now, you should be starting to think of seeking shelter. Mount Meigs area, these areas here, we have Elizabeth White, our reporter that's up in Auburn and Opelika. It's not in Lee County. We're talking Macon County, and this could continue right along Highway 231 in Alabama on Pike Road. We have some viewers outside just starting to watch News 3 in this area here, and our western viewers. So if you guys are watching us here in Macon County, Pike Road area, coming out of Hull, they should be seeking shelter, but you should begin to get into your safe spot. This has a little bit better tight rotation. As Cody was talking about earlier, the rotation over in southern Harris and Muskogee has been very broad. This is now, see, this is exactly what the models are showing. It starts out a little weaker, and now everything's starting to tighten up as we get into the afternoon. And this is almost right on schedule. It's 1:51 local time, 12:51 central. This is exactly what we were talking about. 2 o'clock was about the hour. This is the tightening that we got to watch very closely. This is all outside of these areas here off of Interstate 65. Still a distance away from the News 3 viewing area, but I'll tell you, this one definitely needs to be watched, especially for areas in South Montgomery in the metro area. And then eventually we'll watch that coming into Macon County. And if that happens, we'll start keeping an eye on Shorter. We'll start watching Tuskegee. You guys are still well away, but it's never too late to seek your safe spot right now. We're analyzing this data out of level 2 data out of Maxwell Air Force Base, which has been good. We're still seeing broad rotation. We say aloft. It's not at the surface, but this is way above us right now. Waverly Hall. And what I'd like to do right now, if Rebecca Higgs is on the phone right now with us, she's from Midland. Now, Rebecca, are you Midland? We lost Rebecca. If she could call back, we'll get her back on the line, and we'll find out if she's Midland Muskogee or Midland Harris. But either way, south of 208. We'll be watching this closely. But it's good to get the eyewitness reports, what we've seen, and we want to follow this until it completely expires. We never get too lax. Even if you're south of Waverly Hall, south of Highway 208, you should still be getting into a safe spot, and especially into western portions of Talbot County here, okay? Central Talbot County into the city of Talbotton. It's just to the west of you guys, okay? So we'll get you back online here. We're getting a few calls coming in. Smith Station, Columbus is certainly looking at still potential hail. The hail has weakened a little bit, the core there. Crawford now, Ladonia, which we started with that earlier. The hail has moved on. Here's the latest scan. These scans fall behind the radar because this is more data collected. It takes sometimes 5 minutes to scan these, but we're a little bit behind. But there was potential of hail. Meteorologist Cody Nichols highlighting 4/10 to 6/10. So we watch hail size for storm intensity. So the storm is weakening because the Doppler indicated, of course, hail analysis here has been showing a smaller diameter, so likely right around where Manchester Expressway, 27 coming out of Veterans Parkway, 315 in Catala, likely seeing about maybe something about pea size and dime size, right about that size. A hail coming up right along 315, which that will take you right into areas around Ellerslie. So that's what we were talking about, Ellerslie, and that's right about now, because that hail scan was just falling back a little bit in time. So the physical areas is Ellerslie right now and Talbotton. You guys should be seeking a safe spot as we speak at this juncture. Alabama, Russell County looking good. Phoenix City, Columbus were okay, but we still got some heavy rain. We expect this to expire very shortly. It's 1:54 local time, Eastern time, 12:54 Central. We're on the central focus now for our second tornado warning today. Still Doppler indicated. I think BMX has not given us any indication, Cody, of anything more than that, but that does have tightening and certainly a little bit more impressive rotation on it. Level 2 radar showing us a little appendage. It's not the best scan, and we're coming close to the radar. I think, are we Peachtree City now? Yeah, we're going into, this is Maxwell, Montgomery. Okay, good. Maxwell, okay, now the scan is looking more like what we just had in Harris County. It was tight at one point, but we still got to watch it. And when we start seeing that more gate to gate and we start getting a real tight symmetry, that's when we start seeing a likelihood of something really winding up and likely becoming more than a funnel cloud. So we got, I think it's, we have somebody online right now? Not yet, okay. So we'll hopefully hear that in just a moment. So what we're still watching this, a little bit more tighter rotation in the center. This is all south and west of Hope Hall in Alabama. This is I-65 corridor, so we're still away from the New Street viewing area, but we're prompting you to start thinking ahead, especially if you're into areas just outside of Montgomery, southeast of Montgomery, along Pike Road, and we're talking about these areas around Highway 231. And then we'll take you up into the Mount Meigs area and getting into areas around Shorter. Then we start talking about Macon County for you guys in our Macon County viewing area, and we're not leaving you out, but that's right on the Macon County line. If the storm track, not if, it will, the storm will still be in full force continuing. We got to watch Little Texas. Little Texas comes into these areas here. That would take it as far out in Smith Station from Lee and Russell counties. Yes, I can hear you. I got some in my ear right now. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, sounds good. We're doing some tests here. Just so you know live what we're doing right now, we have meteorologist Jeff Kelly, meteorologist Cody Nickel, myself all have these devices in our ear, and we're trying to listen so at home we can give you the best information that we're seeing out there. We're going to now focus on our southern coast. So now we're up to three on radar coming up. This is in our viewing area right now, coming out of Abbeville and Shorterville. This is now coming into areas we got to watch closely in our southern Georgia counties. This is just south of Barber County, southeast, but now we're going to be watching areas going into the Randolph County area. Mount Hebron Road, this is interesting here, Cody. No warning on this, but we got rotation, no doubt. Now this, to me, is more of a good Doppler indicated tornado. This is not, the National Weather Service has not issued anything. What Cody's running here is a CC. This is a correlation coefficient for any debris signatures, and in fact, close to that circulation, there could be a little debris with that. So that needs to be watched in Randolph County, south of Cuthbert. This is well south of Cuthbert. The Carnegie area, if you're in the Shivers Mill area and Goff's Mill, this is all into southern and southwest Randolph County. There is not a warning, but the News 3, the First Alert Weather Team, we don't wait for the warning to pop up. We get ahead of the warnings. We need to show you. This needs to be watched. Absolutely. This is the tightest rotation we've seen so far, and by way of this will be coming around the 27 area in Randolph County. This is southern Randolph County. We need to watch that rotation as it continues north and east, and eventually coming up on 216 Randolph County, and again, this will cross 27 shortly. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Definitely needs to be watched. A potential tornado with this, but nothing confirmed, and right now we're seeing good rotation. That's the most impressive rotation we've seen so far out of these three storms. I think up in Harris County, again, just to walk us through, we'll just take them through Harris County to let everyone know if they need to just kind of relax here. We'll go back up there with velocity scan. So we're going to watch that down there. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning now, Clay County, and we're going to watch that even for Randolph County. I'm sure that same storm is going to move rapidly. So north of Fort Gaines, you're going to watch out. Okay, so we're going to go back to Midland now to this storm here. We'll center in on that, Cody, and get down to Rebecca Higgs. Rebecca, how are you this afternoon, and where are you exactly? Paint a picture for the viewers at home.
I'm in the...
Okay, Midland, Muskogee, Harris?
Midland, Muskogee,
Okay.
about a mile south of the Harris County line,
Okay, and what did you experience?
just off of 80.
Could you give us a play-by-play? Did you have hail, or did you just have any wind, or tell us what you've seen and heard?
There has not been much, just heavy rain and intermittent medium winds,
Okay,
and pretty intense lightning.
and we're seeing that now, Rebecca, on the radar, so you're confirming what we're seeing there. Now the hail we had before that, you didn't have any hail at all that was on the ground?
We did not have any hail here.
So that might have been right with the weakening stage. This tells us a lot because it does, your story is certainly playing into what we're seeing on the radar, and it helps us look at pretty good. Yes. Okay.
Right. It's really the intensity's coming and going in waves.
Okay,
So
Rebecca.
pick up and die down and pick up and die down.
Okay, well, you're getting out of the area. It is now a severe thunderstorm warning for there. And what we just said, the First Alert Weather Team, Rebecca, we're going farther south from you. Rebecca, have a safe day. Please check back in with us. It's going to be a busy afternoon, and please be safe. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for all the work you're doing to help us know what to do and how to react. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And that really helps us out. We thank our viewers for that. You guys are so important to us to be the eyes and ears. Okay, I told you Randolph County, Cuthbert, we're coming out of areas around Clay County, Highway 216. It is now a tornado warning, Randolph County. We saw this before it was actually a physical tornado, and I can tell you why. This is not dinging the National Weather Service in Peachtree City. The radar cannot scan. They don't scan this far south, so it makes our job more valuable because we saw this long before. And now this is coming from Tallahassee, and this is helping us. So Tallahassee radar, we get to use, and it's scanning south because when those radar beams shoot up, we go to our radar sites farther